What if the artist dream is not dead? What if you are simply very good at staying busy enough not to touch it? You answer messages, you help everyone else, you organize the files, you update the website, you research, you plan, you scroll, you do all the things around the art. But the art itself remains untouched. And then you say, I just don't have time. Sometimes that is completely true, but sometimes busyness is how we avoid finding out how much the dream still matters. Welcome to the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise Artist Podcast. I'm Lara Bianca-Pilcher, author of Audacious Artistry, keynote speaker, life and creativity coach, and fellow artist. This is the podcast for artists and creatives who still feel called to create, but are tired of striving, comparing, waiting for permission, and wondering if their work still matters. Here, we talk honestly about the inner life of being an artist, the doubt, the courage, the burnout, the money, the waiting, the visibility, and the audacity it takes to keep showing up. Let's begin. Well, artists are often busy. We have jobs and families and bills and caring responsibilities and sometimes health issues or deadlines or school runs, paid work that may have nothing to do with our creative work. Sometimes there really is not much time left. I never want to shame an exhausted artist by pretending everybody has 3 spare hours hiding somewhere in the day, because limited time is real. But there is another pattern that can hide inside a busy life. You finally get 20 minutes, you spend it scrolling. You could open the document, but you reorganize the folder. You could practice, but first you decide you need new equipment. So you spend your time on Amazon, or you could send the email, but you research the person for another 6 weeks. You could make the rough first version, but you keep changing the plan or improving it, or inverted commas, trying to improve it. You tell yourself you will return to the dream when life is calmer, when you have maybe a proper space, when you feel confident, when you know exactly what the project is, when you have enough money, when your family needs less from you. When you have dealt with every other responsibility on your to-do list first. But life rarely clears the stage and announces, your dream may enter now. There will almost always be something useful, sensible, urgent, or easier to do. And useful work can become a very respectable place to hide. So what's actually happening here? Why would we avoid something we say that we want? Because wanting it can make us so very vulnerable. If you never begin, you never have to discover whether you can still do it. If you never return, you do not have to face how much time has passed. If you never show anybody, nobody can reject it. If you never try again, the dream can remain perfect inside your imagination. Avoidance protects us from disappointment, but it can also keep us separated from the very thing we miss. Sometimes we tell ourselves the dream has gone away, but it keeps returning in strange places. It appears while you're scrolling. There is one artist whose work produces a reaction in you every time, and you feel irritated or jealous or sad or restless, and you watch a performer or whatever kind of artist on screen and imagine yourself inside the scene, or you see somebody else release the project you've been talking about for 5 years. You follow an artist whose life seems to touch the exact ache you keep trying not to name. Not every trigger is a calling. Sometimes social media is simply making us compare our messy lives with somebody else's edited one. But sometimes the intensity of our reaction contains some really useful information. Sometimes jealousy is not saying, I want that person's life. It's actually saying there is something here I have not allowed myself to want at all. So a personal story here is performing is still part of my dream. Other parts of my creative life have grown enormously. I write, I speak, I coach, I teach, I create resources for artists. I wrote my book, Audacious Artistry. These are not consolation prizes. They are real parts of who I am and what I know that I'm called to do on this earth. But the fact that my creative life became wider did not mean the desire to perform disappeared. It has ebbed and flowed. Yes, it has taken slightly different shapes and focuses through the years, but I've always sung, danced, and acted. There have been times when it's had more space, when other things in my life needed attention, like when I had my little children. But boy, did I still try. The biggest change has not been that I stopped wanting it. The change is that performing no longer has to carry the full weight of my significance as a creative soul. It does not have to prove that I'm talented, or that I have a voice, or that I have value, or that I have purpose. It does not have to justify every sacrifice. It does not have to be the only evidence that I am an artist. That has made the desire a little lighter, but not smaller, just lighter. I can audition because I want to perform, not because one role must tell me whether my life matters as a creative. I can let the dream live without forcing it to remain frozen in the exact shape it had years ago. Sometimes a dream matures. Sometimes it expands. Sometimes it becomes one room in a larger creative house. The dream can still be alive even when its place in your identity shifts just a little, maybe changes in a big way. So here's how this shifts. So rather than asking, why can't I make myself do this? Try asking, what might I be protecting myself from by staying busy? Are you protecting yourself from disappointment? From being a beginner again? From discovering that your skills feel rusty, from being seen wanting something, from the fear that you may try and still not get the outcome you hoped for. Then ask, what keeps tugging at me? Who triggers you? Maybe look at what it is about them. What's happening for you in that? What kind of work can you not stop watching? What do you imagine yourself doing when you see another artist? What project keeps returning when life becomes so quiet and you have a moment of stillness to think? What do you keep saying you will do, and it's inverted commas, one day? Do not treat every reaction as an instruction, but just treat it as information. It may be telling you that you miss performing, you miss writing or painting or dancing or directing, you miss maybe being in a rehearsal room with other creatives, you miss making something that's yours. Then ask the final question, what is one imperfect move I can make towards this? We're not talking about a change of careers or a big dramatic announcement on social media. Man, I've seen people do that. We're not even talking about quitting your job or blowing up your whole life. We're just talking about a tiny imperfect move. Things like opening the document, writing one page, booking the class, recording the rough version, practicing for 20 minutes, emailing the person, maybe the ugly first draft, the audition. Just begin. You do not need to know what the dream will become. You only need to stop pretending you do not care. This connects with the Audacious Dreams guidepost in my book, Audacious Artistry. Audacity is not always making a huge public move. Sometimes it is becoming honest about what you still want. So here is the question I want to leave with you. What keeps triggering or tugging at you, and what might it be asking you to stop avoiding? Thank you for listening to the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise Artist podcast. If today's episode spoke something into you, my book, Audacious Artistry, Reclaim Your Creative Identity and Thrive in a Saturated World, goes deeper into this conversation. You can also download the free 10-week group study guide and walk through the book on your own with a friend or with a group of artists. Find the book and free guide at larabiancapilcher.com/book. Until next time, keep creating, stay audacious, and remember, your artistry matters.